Is your Bible study boring?
It's Friday night.
If you really love me, then you'll show me you love me.
There it is. That's it. Go, 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 go.
My parents live in a different world.
Lecture, lecture, lecture.
I didn't have sex with my boyfriend to find true love. Does that surprise you?
S-E-X.
Why can't they take out the trash? Stupid parent tricks.
You're the man!
If you don't do this, man, you're a punk, man.
Who did you say you were? Marty Mosley here, head of the Total TV network. Thanks for tuning in. You know, as a group leader, you are likely to address your young people 50 to 100 times each year. That's an awesome responsibility. It takes a lot of thought, preparation, variety, just to hold their attention week after week. We believe that our new series, On the Air, can help. The videos have comedy, real-life drama, commercial parodies, and straight talk about relevant issues. As a teacher, you'll love our user-friendly Leader's Guide and the 13 quality Bible study lessons that can be prepared in less than 1 hour. To purchase On the Air, we can close an invoice for your convenience. If we haven't heard from you in 30 days, we'll assume you've decided to keep the series and we'll bill you accordingly. Here's my no-risk offer. If you feel that On the Air does not deliver, then package it all up and send the series back, along with your comments for a full refund. Enjoy this episode of On the Air.
15 seconds.
Hey Neil,
to air.
sorry to bother you, man. Can we get a sound check?
Got a problem here on camera 3.
Hey, Michael, you got some on your teeth there.
Hey, camera 2, I know they're
Yeah, that
chipped,
got it.
but...
Okay, folks, let's do a show here.
Is that too
3,
loud?
2, 1, and take it.
Hey, Michael here. Up next, an all-new episode of On the Air. As usual, real stories told by real people. This week, we're gonna be talking about S-E-X.
The upcoming program contains the following: gratuitous banner, explicit instructions, and facial hair. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Tommy.
What's the #1 topic on sitcoms?
And what sells blue jeans, cars, and toothpaste?
The answer? Sex.
And we're going to talk about it.
My wife goes to the store and she comes back and she says, she said, Al, I have never in my life seen a store like this. This store has everything in it. And I said, well, honey, if it's got everything in it, what is this doing here?
When it comes to sex, is there a lot of pressure to follow the crowd? On the Air is going to find out. Come on.
Most of the guys in the football team are mostly sexually active.
If you love somebody, that you can wait.
I've never had sex myself, but a lot of my friends are, pretty much, that's all they talk about.
Everyone else is doing it, so the majority want to follow the crowd.
I know I shouldn't have done it ever until I got married. And I regretted it.
There's always a temptation.
I think safe sex is a joke. Like they see the videos on TV, they watch the movies, and they like it, so they want to experience it.
TV makes it look like there's nothing wrong with sex, no matter how old you are.
Once I did something, it was like, well, you've done it before. What's it going to hurt to do it again?
I still go to church, but I felt I couldn't wait.
A lot of times, girls will do it to keep their boyfriends.
I think a lot of teens are having sex for attention.
Peer pressure. Everybody's doing it.
It's just easy to jump right into it and not even think about it. Sometimes it's just you feel like that's what you need to do to show them that you care for them. I'm a virgin. I haven't had sex before.
Watch out who you hang around with.
Your hormones take over and, you don't really think about it sometimes.
Teens have sex. That's no surprise to anybody.
You know what I'm sick of hearing about? Safe sex. Let's check out God's resume. Created universe, earth, man, human brain, baseball. Nothing big. Knows right from wrong, omnipresent, all-knowing. He even knows what you're thinking now, and that's a little scary. So, if he is the all-powerful, all-knowing God, and he says premarital sex is wrong, who did you say you were? If you want safe sex, there's no such thing.
The Bible states it pretty clear.
No sex before marriage.
But if we're honest, it's not always easy to do the right thing.
The pressure to have sex is everywhere.
Perhaps these stories will sound familiar to you.
I had just gone into 8th grade. I met this guy at church. I thought that he really cared about me and was going to be there for me. I thought that we'd be together forever and that he loved me. I'll always remember this. He'd always tell me, if you really love me, then you'll show me you love me. I thought that if we did have sex, he'd love me and want to stay with me and would never want to leave me. And whenever I did, he left. He didn't love me. He doesn't. He may say he does, but it's not the truth. He shows me it's not the truth by the way he would treat me. If I would have stopped and thought and looked at everything, then I wouldn't have, because I would have realized that he really didn't love me. That it was just words that he felt like he had to say.
I didn't have sex with my boyfriend to find true love. I just had sex because it felt good. I mean, we hadn't even been dating that long. I knew marriage has something to do with sex, but I was a kid. I had sex. It felt good. That's the only reason I did it. A lot of my friends are having sex. I mean, you go out to lunch and everyone has sex stories, and you're just kind of sitting there, so you don't want to feel stupid. I met my boyfriend spring break of my senior year at his church, and that's when we started dating. I had heard from some of my friends that he was really good in bed, and my curiosity, I knew it was wrong. I knew I was supposed to wait. That's what I'd planned to do, but I was supposed to be out having fun with my friends, and I was sitting on my bed, fat as a whale, pregnant. Missed out on a lot. I had to give up being me. Even just to say, hey, let's go to the mall. You can't be spontaneous because you have to work around nap times, feeding times. I've missed out on just being a stupid, carefree kid. Missed out on sleeping in on Saturday mornings. You can't just go do anything. You have to stay at home because you're baby. It wasn't the fun I thought it would be. It's a lot more work than you think. A lot more work even if you're totally prepared. He doesn't have the 24-hour responsibilities that I have. I don't get the chance of being a newlywed with just me and my husband. Because we'll already have a family. It's like I went from being 18 to being 30 years.
Did you know that among 18 to 24-year-olds, 61% revealed that they'd lost their virginity by the age of 16? Does that surprise you?
You know, not everyone who has sex gets a disease or gets pregnant.
And we've all been to health class and we know the dangers and we've heard the statistics.
A lot of teens start out thinking they're gonna wait, but
first it was a little hug, and that was the first domino. You know, little hug, really, you know, it was a hug, but you felt something from that hug. Then after a while, you say, okay, you know, little pet, so then you start stacking up dominoes right there. And then the third domino is when you start getting into the deeper, you know, kissing, deeper kissing. You're not realizing, but you're just leading up, you're building up, stacking up more dominoes. And then after a while, you're like, okay, you know, this ain't so bad. You know, ain't nothing gonna happen, ain't gonna nothing happen. Then after a while, boom, they just all fall down. I'm Drew, I'm 16 years old. I was a virgin, and I got myself in a situation with a girl that I didn't think I would get myself into. I wanted to, you know, save sex until marriage, and I took the sex thing lightly. We was kind of sitting in the living room, right, and there was some other guys over there, and then her aunt left, And then some guy said, man, you know, if my aunt would have left, man, if I was you, man, I'll be back in the back room right now. If you don't do this, man, you're a punk, man. I'm gonna go back to Chester School. And I didn't want that. I was kind of known a little bit during the time. And, you know, if that got around, you know, I would play on the football team, you know, whatever. And I'll have to deal with all that peer pressure. That's more peer pressure. Afterwards, I felt guilty. Why did I do it? Why did I do it? Even when I wasn't a Christian, I didn't do this. You know, it was like, man.
I remember thinking that was so cool because I was 13 years old and I had sex. I've had sex with a lot of people. I don't even know how many. I looked at girls as an object. If I dated a girl, that's the first thing that I wanted, and that was my main goal with girls, really, to be honest with you. And I would never be in a relationship or anything like that unless I was going to have sex, because there was no point in being in it for me. I was the quarterback, and we had a great team. Certain girls are drawn to that, being in with the quote-quote popular group, throwing the parties, going to the parties. I mean, these girls are my friends, and you're there for the good time, and you're there for the feelings, and you're there for the sex, and it was a good time for the moment. But I dated a girl for 2.5 years, and we did think about marriage and always talk about marriage and that we would be together. And more than anything, it was surrounded by sex. We thought that it brought us a lot closer. It made us feel mature, like we have sex. It was more overpowering, that those feelings was more overpowering than knowing her as a person and caring about her. And you think it's love, but when there's sex involved, your emotions play with your mind. Playing athletics and stuff, it gives you an image. I had an image, and then the image was who I was, and I was miserable. People looked on the outside at me and thought that I was a happy guy. They thought that I had everything. They thought, I mean, they didn't get the girls, and nobody understood how miserable that I was inside. Nobody understood that I'd go home and I'd cry. The more miserable I became, the more I tried to fill my heart with sex, because it'd feel good for a time, but then afterwards you'd just be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just had sex just to fill my heart, and you're just empty inside.
Now it's time to stop the tape for some group discussion.
Here's what we've heard so far. Beth thought she was in love, and Diana had sex for fun.
Drew gave in to pressure, and Jeff doesn't have a relationship unless there's sex.
So here's the first question. If God created our sex drive, well then why are we supposed to wait?
And what is your biggest deterrent to having sex? What keeps you from having sex?
Discuss these in class.
Then we'll come back and finish the show.
On the Air is brought to you by Real Stories of the Date Night Patrol, coming this fall on the Total TV Network.
Baby, you know I love you. Okay, guys, it's Friday night. I think we got a live one out there. Stand by, everyone. But we'll always be together. No. Code red, code red. I repeat, we have a code red. Everyone look alive. But everybody's doing it. Here we go. Wait for the violation. If you love me, you would. There it is. That's it. Go, 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 go.
Go, go. Freeze!
Another close one. Next time we may not be so lucky. This guy's going away for a long time.
I'm on tech 2.
Hey, I'm Mark with Audio Adrenaline, and the reason I think it's important to wait until you're married to have sex is because it's God's plan, and that's a good one.
Hey, I'm Stephen Curtis Chapman. I want to encourage all you out there watching, and I made a decision in my life to wait until I was married to have sex and save that until I was with a person I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And it's one of those decisions that I'm really, really thankful that I stuck by. So let me encourage you. There's grace and mercy if you've already blown that, but it is worth waiting. So God bless you, and keep on doing the walk. See you.
A message from the Total TV Network.
Welcome back to the show.
While you guys were away, Melissa and I were doing some talking, and we still have a few questions.
This is a tough topic for all of us. That's why we've gone to our good friend, Neil McClendon.
You know, I really like Neil. You know, he's the Mac, the cat daddy, the man, the bomb, the fly,
If
the
you're trying to say that he knows what he's talking about, then you're right. Neil's a popular guy, and he speaks to thousands of young people every year.
Take it away, Neil.
Hey, did you know a girl can get pregnant from eating avocados? Really? I saw it on the internet, so it must be true. Don't believe it. You might get zits from eating avocados, but not pregnant. Still, there are a lot of wrong ideas going around about sex, and it's time to clear up these sex myths and take a strong look at the truth. You see, you get these bogus messages in school or on TV, and sometimes even in church. Even your parents can give you the wrong impression about sex. Oh my gosh, eek! We said parents and sex in the same sentence. Is that spooky or what? So let's start with the bad ideas that you get from good people. The first myth is this: sex is bad. Hey, the fact is, sex was God's idea. Even the hormones that make you so sexually excitable, hey, God made those. Sex is not bad as long as we're obeying God. Listen, it's not wrong as long as we're obeying God. And God says that sex belongs only in marriage. The second myth is this: if you have premarital sex, you'll either get pregnant or contract this horrible disease and you're gonna die. We have to look at this carefully because sometimes those things, they do happen. See, so-called safe sex, it's never 100% safe. The only truly safe sex is abstinence. That means no sex. Now say that with me, boys and girls. No sex. You got that? Okay, thank you. See, but you probably know people who are having sex right now, and they still seem to be okay. No disease, no death. Maybe that's your story too. See, I want to talk to you about another danger that has nothing to do with pregnancy or disease, because someday they'll make a 100% safe condom. Someday they'll find a cure for AIDS, but this danger will still be there. Never be a cure for this. It's the danger of broken relationships. Some of you may know this already. I mean, you slept with someone because you thought you loved them, or they loved you, or da-da-da, however it went. But things changed. Funny, isn't it? That the very thing you think is going to bring us close together often just drives you apart. Fire. Is it good or bad? I mean, it could cook your casserole, or it can burn your bungalow down. See, in the proper context, a furnace, a fireplace, an oven, it has the power to do great things. But when it starts racing through your rec room, it has the power to destroy. Sex is like that. It's a beautiful, powerful thing that can bring a couple great joy within the context of marriage. But outside of marriage, it can turn against you and begin to burn your relationship. Between you and your boyfriend or girlfriend, the guilt between you and your parents, and then finally, the damage you do to your relationship with God. Here's a third myth. If you've had sex, you're ruined for life, tainted forever. I mean, like you have to carry this big sign around that says, unclean, unclean, you don't want to talk to me. No, God is in the business of forgiving sins. Each time you do something wrong, sexually or otherwise, you need to come back to God and say, Lord, I'm sorry. I realize that this is not how you created me to live. Help me not to do it again.
I look back on it and I kind of say, man, I just want to hit myself because, you know, I had a chance to get out of it. It meant more than once because God always provides a way out of things, you know. It was really a dumb situation that I was in. I shouldn't even have been there in the first place, and I wouldn't have to deal with that. I got a friend now that helps me. We hold each other accountable on our actions. You know, he keeps me accountable. I ask him this and this, and I can tell him, I can come to him about anything. We hold each other accountable. That's how I'm making it now.
There's still more myths out there about sex, and you hear them in school and from your friends and on TV and the latest CD. They're everywhere. Here's one. If you really like the person, I mean, you really love them, then, well, it's okay. But look around. Hey, a year ago, dude, some of your friends were couples who you thought would never break up. I mean, they'd last forever. And they were picking out their china and picking out names. But now, they're dating someone else. See, this emotion you call love has to get tested and tried before you get to the point of committing yourselves to each other forever. And that's called marriage. This leads us to another myth. Oh, we're different. No one really understands us. Wait a second, give me a break. Are you saying that you're so different that you get to make up your own rules? Hello? No, no. You see, God understands you. He made you, and He made the guidelines because He understands you so well. Well, others come along and they say, well, how could something that feels, keyword, that feels so good, how could that be sin? But which are you going to trust? Your feelings or God? You see, sex is beautiful, but God wants you to wait until marriage so you can feel beautiful afterwards. And finally, this myth. Well, virgin's a dirty word. I don't want anybody to know that I might be a virgin. Don't believe it. There are many guys and girls out there that are choosing to wait. They're practicing self-control, and that's something to be admired.
Ho, 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 got a Christmas story for you. Once upon a time, there was a family with 2 young children, Johnny and Julie. Every December, Mom and Dad would do their Christmas shopping early, wrap the presents and place them under the tree. Well, one day, little Johnny spied a big box that had his name on it under the tree. He was so excited, he just couldn't wait. So he snuck it up to his room and opened it. Wow, a toy truck! Great fun for about an hour. But the next day, he secretly opened another present, and then another. Well, on Christmas Day, his sister Julie had a big pile of presents. Wow! But Johnny had nothing. His new toys were gathering dust under the bed. Mom, Dad, and Julie, they took turns opening their gifts. Thanks for the tie, dear. But Johnny wasn't a part of it. You're smart. You probably figured this out. But I'm going to tell you anyway. If you focus on your loot, getting your sexual kicks now, what's going to be left?
Waiting for the loot. It's a good idea, but it's really tough to do. I mean, how can you learn to say no in this sex-crazy world we live in? I mean, you got the Spice Girls, you got Toni Braxton, you got Fabio. Okay, maybe your grandmother's got Fabio, but here are some ideas for you. First, draw the lines now. Don't wait until you're in some parked car and decide what your sexual boundaries are. Decide right now when you're thinking straight and stick to your decisions. Second, be choosy about your brain food. TV shows, songs, movies, friends. I mean, listen, if you spend all day listening to 9 Inch Nails saying, I want to violate you, you might have a little problem controlling yourself on your date that night, you think? Third, take responsibility. Don't expect the other person to make the sexual decisions for you. You choose your own behavior. If your date doesn't respect your choices, hey, kick him to the curb. Give her the Tony Lama, the boot. Find a new relationship. That's what we're saying. Also, stay away from the cliffs. See, some people like to walk on the edge of the cliff, you know what I mean? I mean, close to the edge, how far can I go? Without exactly sinning. And so they wind up on the couch, lights out, parents are away, little brother's not there. There's no way you're going to avoid temptation like that. Not going to happen. And finally, call time out. Okay, so you're in the arms of your beloved, but it's kind of getting out of hand. You're starting to think that kind of, well, what do we do? Hey, time out. Seriously, just break the spell of the moment. Get up, walk around. It's okay. Clear your head and call time out.
You know, I always say that it's the hardest place to be a Christian is in high school, just because of the temptations of everything. I had to make a decision to obey God or to obey my feelings and my emotions. I'm tempted, just like a girl walking down the street that is very pretty, or an old girlfriend calling and saying, you want to go do something? Or being somewhere in a situation, watching a movie, and it's just me and her. I mean, when those things start happening, then I have to start making decisions, making my choice, and because those are the hardest things to deal with. Right now in my life, I don't need to be thinking about sex. It's not something that I want to think about. It's something that I do think about. I mean, I'm human. It's a struggle, and that's where I don't even put myself in a situation. If I start thinking about sex, I right away start praying, start focusing on God. It's not like I jump on my knees or anything, but I just in my head say, Lord, I don't want to think this. You just look back and you just regret so much stuff that you did, and you wish you wouldn't have did it. But His grace covered all that sin. I'm pure and I'm a new creation and I'm holy in His eyes.
Remember, sex is a beautiful thing. Don't let anyone tell you differently. In fact, God thinks it's so special that He doesn't want us to have it with just anyone. That's why God put boundaries around the gift of sex. The boundaries of a committed, intimate relationship. It's called marriage. As God created it with Adam and Eve. And you can read more about marriage in Ephesians 5. I know, it's not easy. You got hormones raging through you. You're getting just saturated with media and all this stuff. It's tough to keep it in line. Plan ahead, though. Or start fresh. And make good decisions. And stay away from the cliffs. Day by day by day.
Thank you very much.
Neil covered so much material today that we don't have time to do the normal recap of the show.
Hey, they kind of hog the show. Look, you give the guy an inch and he takes all day.
Well, maybe they pay him by the word. Well, since the show dealt mostly with sex, in the future we'll also be talking about dating.
Paid by the word. Hey, you know, I could really deal with that because, you know, if they pay me by the word, I wouldn't stop talking either. You know, that speed reading course I've been taking really helps because you get more words in a smaller amount of time and you get more money.
Michael here in Master Control. Now that you've seen the show, for the next 2 weeks, our lesson book will help you discover what else God has to say about sex. See ya.